So we're in the middle of doing this front power disc brake conversion on this super awesome 68 Mustang. And I want to show you just a quick little thing on what to watch out for if you're bleeding your entire system and you've like done a lot of extensive work such as a brake conversion or whatnot. So what you need to watch out for are these little brake warning light switches. And it's that little switch right there that's got the two wires connected on the brake distribution block, okay? Here's a pretty good look at it. Okay, so what you want to do, what you want to watch out for is we're just going to unplug the connector just right there, and you're going to want to take this out. And you need a special tool right here that's going to temporarily install in the brake pressure warning switch. Okay, and let me explain how this works here. So we're going to pull this out. Okay, so that's a brake pressure warning switch, okay? What this does is it has a two-wire connection on there. So what's happening is you have power going through the brake light warning bulb on your instrument cluster. It goes through this switch. However, it won't like actually make it through the second terminal and to ground until this switch is activated. And the reason like how it activates is if you get a large brake fluid leak, there's what they call a shuttle valve inside the distribution block that will slide to the side of the leak or the high fluid flow in the brake system. And it could be the front brake system or the rear brake system, but what it'll do is just kind of slide over. And as it slides over, it'll kind of be dished like this. So as it slides over, it'll kind of push over on the brake warning light switch and make that contact. So what you don't want to do while you're bleeding is inadvertently shift that shuttle valve over. And so you got to install this tool to prevent that from happening. And you just kind of, it has the same size of threads on it as the switch does, but it's just like a hard metal post that'll keep that shuttle valve in place while you're doing that. So you just kind of thread it in by hand. You don't need to put it in there super tight, just kind of tight enough. And now you should be safe to bleed your system and you won't have any kind of issues, because if you do bleed your system and you do shift that shuttle valve over, it'll completely block fluid flow to either the front or the rear, wherever you're kind of like bleeding. And then it's going to be very frustrating for you because you're not going to get fluid coming out of that system. You're going to go to Facebook, you're going to ask all the questions. Most of the responses are going to be like, oh, well, did you bench bleed the master cylinder? And the answer is yes, of course you did. And you're going to get a million answers and no one's going to know why. But you got to watch out for those little shuttle valves because they will get you from time to time. Get the tool. I'll post a link in the description of the video. And that's it for today for Mustang Alps Quick Tips. One more thing to add with this here. When you're taking that switch out and putting in your tool, you should not be exposed to the brake fluid system. This should be completely sealed off. If you do see brake fluid in there, it's because there's an internal seal, internal issue with your brake distribution block, and that should be replaced. But you can bleed your entire system and then pull your tool out and then reinstall the switch, and you're not exposed to brake fluid in this part of the system, because that's just like not how that works. But if there is brake fluid there, it's because there's a problem.